Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Buller and I'm going to be your instructor for History 1400, United States History to 1877. I just wanted to make a quick introduction video, kind of introducing myself to you, going over what we're going to cover in the course, and talk a little bit about the syllabus. So if you can, either print off the syllabus or just pull it up in a separate screen and you can kind of follow along as I go over it with you. But like I said, my name is Daniel Bowler. I received my bachelor and master's degrees from Emporia State University in 2010. I started teaching for Barton in 2015. I taught for 2 years up at Fort Leavenworth, and then the last 3 years I've been teaching online. You can kind of read the first page and a half of the syllabus. I want to go over kind of some other things. My email is on the first page, so if you have any questions throughout the course, please feel free to email me. I check my email every day, so I'll always try to get back to you the same day that you email me. But if you can, flip over to page 2. I want to go over assessment of student learning. And basically, I'll let you read list A. Those are just general competencies that we kind of want to become good at if we're studying history, any type of history. But list B, those are kind of the competencies that are specific to this course. So I kind of want to go through those with you, and I've kind of made a timeline of what this course is going to cover. But competency 1 is basically going to look at the New World before the arrival of the Europeans. Competency 2 is going to look at basically the European discovery and colonization of the New World. So we'll look at how the Spanish, the French, and the English and some other European countries basically came to the New World and colonized it. But since this is American history, we're mostly going to focus on English colonization of the New World. Competency 3, we're going to get to the American Revolution from 1775 to 1783, and we'll kind of talk about how the United States was created. Then competencies 4, 5, and 6 will basically cover the years 1790s up until the 1850s. So we're going to look at the early republic and then kind of the antebellum years, the years before the Civil War. And then competency 7 is going to be the Civil War itself. That was from 1861 to 1865. And then the Reconstruction era from 1863 to 1877. That's going to be the last thing we look at in this class. So that kind of hopefully gives you kind of an overview of the time period we're going to cover in this class. If you could go to the next page, instructor expectations of students in the class. Basically, I just want you to be respectful of me and of others. Kind of treat this as if you were in a classroom with other people. Engage in the material on Canvas. Engage with your classmates and instructor. Complete your readings, discussions, quizzes on time. Class goes a lot better when you get things turned in on time. There is not a required textbook for this course that you purchase. However, there is an online textbook we're going to be reading called the American Yop. Basically, you'll have readings from this each week, and it'll kind of supplement the material in each module. Methods of instruction and evaluation. Basically, the methods of instruction will be through weekly readings, discussions, documentary and lecture videos, and interactions with the instructor. That's me. The methods of evaluation will be through weekly worksheets, discussion posts, and quizzes. Now, there's going to be worksheet assignments in each module that correspond to a documentary or a primary source reading. Just watch or read the relevant material to complete the worksheet. All worksheet answers need to be in your own words. You won't ever have to go to an outside source to complete any of the work in this module. You're free to go, to Google or to go to a book if you want to learn more, but anything that you need to complete an assignment or to get the right answer on a quiz will come from within the modules. So just make sure all the worksheets are in your own words. If you do quote something from an outside source, make sure you use citations. Discussions, there's going to be 2 discussions per module, and in order to receive all your discussion points, you have to post 1 original response answering the question on the discussion board, and then another post responding to a classmate's post. So basically, the first one answers the question, and then the second post that you'll make kind of talks with a classmate. Please make sure that you make your initial post by Sunday night, and then your follow-up post by Wednesday. So basically I give you 7 days to read the material, watch the videos, and make an initial post, and then you got 3 more days to respond to a student. And make sure when you respond to a student, don't say things like good job or I agree. If that's all you put, you're not going to get your the second half of your points for responding to a classmate. If you say something like good job or I agree, make sure you say why. Say what you liked about your classmate's post, or you can say I disagreed with you, but make sure you explain what you think. Quizzes, there's going to be 1 quiz per module. Each quiz is worth 20 points. Quizzes will be multiple choice, true, false, and then short answer. You'll have 40 minutes to complete the quiz. Everything in the module could be on the quiz, so that's where all the quiz questions come from. So the readings, the videos, anything in the module. If you use an outside internet source on a quiz and you just copy and paste an answer, you're going to get a 0 on the quiz, and I'll kind of talk about this in a little bit, but just make sure you don't go to outside sources without proper citation, and you shouldn't ever need to look to an outside source on a quiz. Late work, I don't accept late work on discussions or quizzes. If something crazy comes up, make sure you email me right away and we can talk about making arrangements, but I don't allow makeup work on those things. Other assignments that are late, so the worksheets will be deducted by 10%. I do want to just spend a moment talking about academic integrity. Cheating has been a big issue in online education, and I've had to deal with it a lot. So basically, my policy is this. The first 2 academic integrity violations you have, you'll receive a 0 on the assignment or the quiz in question. And I'll go over here in a minute what an academic integrity violation might look like. But your 3rd academic integrity violation will result in an F for the course. And for each violation, I have to fill out a report and send it to the college. So let me just talk a little bit now about that. So basically, I've had students in the past make some academic integrity violations. So I just was going to give you a few examples. But basically, it's going to the internet usually or a book and just copying something and putting it on a worksheet, putting it on a quiz without turning it into your own words. So here I've got a quiz question. How could it be argued that FDR and his New Deal both helped and hurt America? So you see the student's answer highlighted in blue. Well, I did a Google search for that, and as you can see, it's the first paragraph or the first 2 sentences on the New Deal Wikipedia page. So this student obviously just, while he was taking the quiz, went and Googled the question, Wikipedia came up, and they just copy and pasted the first sentence or 2. So this is clearly an example of an academic integrity violation, and the student would receive a 0 for this. Here's another question. How did Henry Ford and the automobile change American society? Clearly just went to the internet. And one thing that kind of gives it away is you can see, maybe you can't see, but on this quiz response, certain words are bold or bolded, or sometimes there's a little arrow. So clearly you can tell it's copied when the formatting from the internet doesn't really change when it's pasted into the quiz. Here's an example of cheating on an assignment, a worksheet. So basically, we had this worksheet about the Pilgrims, and it was, the first question is like, explain who William Bradford was and what he kind of contributed to the Pilgrims. So you can see the student's answer is highlighted in blue. Well, if you go Google that, the first thing that comes up in a Google search is what the student put in their assignment. So clearly the student didn't watch the video. They just Googled the questions and then pasted what Google said. So this is another example of an academic integrity violation. I give 0s for these, and like I said, the third one will result in an F for the course. I've never had a student get 3 in a course, but I've had them get 2. I wanted to also show you a good and bad example of discussion posts. So if you look at this post, this was about Reconstruction. So it says, what were some of the successes and failures of Reconstruction? Overall, do you think Reconstruction was a failure or a success? So this student talked a little bit about Reconstruction and then said it was successful and then kind of explained why. But here's an example of a bad response to a student. So this initial discussion post said, "What do you think the League of Nations? Why do you think the League of Nations failed to prevent World War II?" So you can see that this student responded to a classmate by just saying, "I agree." So that would not be a good way to get your points. That would get you 0 points actually. So that's kind of a little bit about academic integrity and kind of what my expectations are. If you have any questions, you can always email me. There are some extra credit opportunities. Each module has something called a course assessment technique at the end, or CAT for short. Basically, I want you to write down something that could improve the course, something that wasn't done well by me. Maybe you didn't understand a certain concept, or something wasn't clear. Just anything about the module that could kind of make it better, or something you didn't understand that maybe you need a little more explanation. That way I can look over it and kind of hopefully clear things up for you. So just a couple sentences, and you get 2 extra points for each of these you do. So each module you can get 2 extra credit points. If you look at the page that has the tables, that's how I break up the grading. So you can see there's a universal orientation quiz, a universal college policies quiz. Those are in the orientation module, and the college makes you take those. Then there's an introduction post where you have to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. Then there's a pre-test, and then the syllabus and class expectations quiz. So those are each worth 10 points. There's 20 worksheets, 10 points each, so 200 total points. The quizzes, you can see how much those add up to, the discussions. And there is also there's a pre and a post test. So the total points in this course, you can kind of see there. And then I've got it broken down by letter grade. So an A is a 90% or better, B is 80 to 89%, etc. And you can kind of see how many points you can miss and still stay within those letter grades. Attendance, just log in regularly. I don't give you attendance points based on how often you log in, but I do want you to make sure you log in each week multiple times and kind of engage with the material. So yeah, that's kind of just an introduction to the course. Like I said, you're welcome to email me anytime if you have questions. I hope you enjoy this course, and I hope you learn a little bit about history.